Cal first.
Good to see you. Peace. Good to see you.
It's always good seeing you too.
You look well.
Hey,
Good to see you.
hey. Oh my goodness. You know, I can't stand next to the best dressed man in the hall.
That's right.
So
No,
I feel out of place. Let me keep going.
We all feel underdressed.
Yes, I'm telling you.
We all feel underdressed.
Good to see you both. Okay, man.
And I'll stand with Jim if he doesn't mind being on
Oh,
video.
wonderful, wonderful. So the question is, I walk along 125th Street, and I was listening to the fellas out there talking about, you know, church and religion and Islam and everything else. Well, just wonderful discussion, which, even though some people say that Black Brooklyn is the center of Black New York now, I guess you've heard that, you do not see that kind of thing in Harlem. And the question is Harlem losing its blackness? Is it going to be in 10 years? Well, some people would say maybe all white.
Well, I don't know, and I don't know how you pose this question, but let me just say this. Harlem is just like any other neighborhood in the world. And there are Harlems throughout the city of New York. There are Harlems throughout the state of New York. There are Harlems throughout the nation. Now, gentrification is something that's affecting any and all neighborhoods, whether it's Brooklyn or whether it's Harlem. You know, white folks don't move up to Harlem because they like black people so much. White folks are moving from Chelsea, they're moving from, I don't know, Gramercy Park, Upper East Side even, because they still want to be in Manhattan, and it's more affordable for them up here. Not that they like black people so much, because that's not the case. But it's more affordable for them, although it may not be affordable to the indigenous population that has been here. Me, for example, I happen to still live in the same rent-stabilized apartment that I grew up in, and I'm not going anywhere. Don't plan to go anywhere, but some of our folks, for whatever reason, I think it has more to do with the economy than, let's say, the housing, have decided to move out, and when they get back on their feet, they try and come back home, and, you know, it's very expensive. And it's expensive to be in Manhattan, and it's expensive to be in New York City anyway. I'll give you my son as an example. My son who's graduated from college, got a job making, I don't know, about $40-something thousand a year, but you can't live on your own making that kind of money in the city of New York anymore. You know, quite frankly, it probably takes about $60,000 in order to get your own apartment and get situated and be independent. So, you know, I think it has a lot to do with the economy. Certainly crack has devastated not one, but I say two generations of folks, whether it's the family unit, whether it has to do with the with job creation and educational value. So, you know, it's a multi-pronged approach, and some folks survive and some folks don't. But I will say this, that you know, Harlem is no different than Bed-Stuy. There's always been a rivalry between Brooklyn and Harlem. You know, Brooklyn has had the most amount of black people, that Harlem has always been the soul of the black diaspora, I'd say. I've never bought into that rivalry, and that rivalry, quite frankly, is, I don't know, Jim, about 50 years old, at least. And so I've never bought into it. We are one folk, and we're all fighting for the survival of our neighborhoods.
Well put. I'd just like to get both of you together to what they call background.
We're coming out to Brooklyn College to see this video.
Can you just give me your name so I have it recorded?
James Ford.
James Ford, and your connection with the assemblyman is what, activist or?
It was a friend and everything. You know, when you here in Harlem, you have to be connected to people. You know, if you need a favor.
Some things don't change.
Jim is an advisor to all of us. He really is not a partisan sort of guy, but for office, people that have been in office, I would say for the last 20 years, we all depend on Jim.